Welcome back, everyone. We're over at the Open Door Mission today in Glens Falls with the president and CEO, Kim Cook. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Now, I wanted to introduce you first because I want to tell the viewers the project we've been working on. And I can tell you, what we have learned at Look Media about Open Door Mission in the last 2 months is really pretty phenomenal. We finished a video, and when we were producing the video and talking to the people here, these are staff and these are people in the community who volunteer their time and their energy to help Kim and her team with their mission. We were just dumbfounded at the scope on a couple of fronts. The scope for the need, and we're going to talk about that, and then just the overriding sense of generosity and the connection, members of the community, to make certain that as few people as possible fall through the cracks. And in editing the video, I can't even tell you how many times we were just dumbfounded with what I just talked about, just watching it in action and seeing it. So at any rate, I talked to Kim and I thought, all right, we're going to come back for an interview because Code Blue is upon us, and I wanted to remind everybody about Code Blue and just about donations and things in general, okay? So let's start there. Is Code Blue in effect?
Yes, it opened the 1st of November.
Oh, it did? Okay, all right. Interesting thing, because we've spoken a bunch of times. It used to be, it was something like 15 degrees or something, right, when the doors would be open? That made no sense to me, by the way.
It didn't me either.
Okay, because by the time it's 15 degrees, that's serious trouble. But I got news for you. Anything under 32 degrees, under 40 degrees is pretty serious stuff if you're homeless, right?
Yeah, I don't sleep outside unless it's summer.
Yeah, okay, good. You and me both, by the way. And then if it has an air conditioner, maybe it's even better. All right, so 32 degrees or colder, the doors are open here at Open Door Mission. Anything someone would need to know about qualifying for that, or what's behind Code Blue?
Code Blue is really just, it's cold and we need to keep people from dying on the streets. So we're going to open the doors and let everyone come in who needs a place. It's about keeping people safe. It's not about judging them, so they may be coming in under the influence or whatever, but we're going to give them a warm bed.
I've got it. And you know, it's not also a warm bed. Of course, they need that desperately, but there are other things that you're doing for people while they're here, right? Would you explain that a little bit?
Sure, yes. We're giving them a warm meal. We're giving them some support services if they need clothing, warm coats, boots, whatever it is that they need to be safe. We're going to help them with that.
Now, in case that doesn't stop you in your tracks, there's quite a need for that. Tell me how many people you served last year.
I do not have an exact number. I know that there were 60 individuals that came through our doors.
That's what I remember, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
From an interview that we had. You realize that. The winter is, I mean, we have a long winter, let's face it, we're in the Northeast. But when you think about the number of nights where it really does get down below freezing and everything else, that's every night there are people here.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a real hidden problem of homelessness in our area. You don't see them out on the street because it is so cold, but they're sleeping on people's couches, they're sleeping on porches, in places that they should never be sleeping, just to stay alive.
Just to stay alive. You know, many years my wife and I lived in Manhattan, and it almost became a regular occurrence, and you get numb to it in a way. I got news for you. We were coming home, I think, from a performance at the Wood one night, and we went down the alleyway, and there's somebody tucked inside just a couple of buildings there.
Right.
And the fact that it was right here in Glens Falls, our hometown, was just like, that was numbing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's hometown USA.
Yeah,
and I always say, it's not okay for anybody to be homeless in hometown USA.
I want to let people know what they can do. This is a time of year. Now, you could look at this and you could feel defeated. You could look at this and feel sad. You know, these are natural human emotions on something like this. But how about we look at that and say how grateful that we are that Kim and her team have put together Open Door Mission to help these people. And that's kind of where I net out on something like this, Kim. So we all know that the tax laws changed, and there was talk how that would hurt not-for-profit organizations and nonprofit organizations. And but I had an interview with a tax attorney That was a tough interview, by the way. I didn't know what I was talking about. You can bundle your donations together to hit this higher threshold for the tax exemptions and tax deductions and things like this. And this is the time of year to do that. You know, take a real good look at where you are, where you stand, and what kind of funds you could donate. Because one thing that we didn't mention is that it's great that they raised the temperature from 15 degrees to 32 degrees, but that also means more open nights.
Yeah, we're
right?
open
So that means
almost all winter.
staffing, that's what I mean. So the expenses here at the Open Door Mission are accelerated and are higher because of that. So this would be really the time of year to say, all right, what have I got, you know? What are the best kind of donations for people? Because they're probably wondering what to do.
Well, our community has been really generous in giving us things. We have Christmas gifts covered for the men in the shelter. We have hats, gloves, coats, boots, everything we need.
Great.
We don't need any more socks. But we do need cash donations. We need help with the capital campaign, of course, but just that annual operating budget. We have more staff now. Code Blue means more staff hours. And that's what's going to get us through the year so that we can continue doing what we're doing for these guests.
Well, that's easy, right? Write a check, you know, drop it off here. It's on Warren Street in Glens Falls. You know, check with it. It's probably great that you do it before the end of the year for tax purposes or whatever, but there's a real need here. You know, you mentioned capital campaign, so I want to go to that. When we were doing the video, we talked an awful lot about phase 1, but we really took a good look at phase 2. What's going on?
Well, phase 2 will be the completion of our ground floor, and it's really the last of the local money that we're trying to raise. Everything else will be grant funded mostly. So it'll do our kitchen, it'll finally get it under this roof, it'll be a food pantry, a chapel, some office space, and you know, all of the things that go with that.
Right. I know you mentioned it, but it stuck out in my mind that laundry you had mentioned at one point too.
Yeah,
right?
laundry. We're going to have 50 beds at some point. We need a considerably larger laundry space.
You could say. By the way, again, when we were shooting, I know I keep referring to this video, but it's really eye-opening. By the way, you'll be able to see it on their website momentarily, right? I think we're almost finished with it today. And go look at it. It's a short view. And you learn a lot about it. Part of where we shot was, I think, the room you called the Learning Center, and on the wall there were all of the naming opportunities. So if you or your company, your corporation, your family want to have something named after you for time and eternity, then you know the opportunity is there for that. I think you've really structured phase 2 very smartly, and that you know you're giving people a lot of opportunity to engage Open Door and participate, and that's really what we need to do. Because after phase 2, we got another phase, don't we?
Right.
I know.
Yeah, but that'll be covered by a large grant. So.
Boy, that's good news. Huh?
Yeah, this is really the last of the big community money, and if
Okay.
we can get through this, then we'll have matching grants.
I've got it. Any number you want to mention for how much we want to try to raise?
Yeah, phase 2 is 1.3 million.
Yo, okay,
That's
all right.
a big number for me too.
Well, it's a big number for anybody, Kim. But think about this. They build out the first floor here, which is where all of the offices are, and where there will be beds and laundry and food and kitchen and all of these other things. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays.
Thank you, you
okay?
too.
And really look forward to working with you in the new year. Don't forget, please, now's the time here. Donate to Open Door Mission, and go to their website, or go to our website. We have the video on our website also, and really check out what Open Door Mission is doing for our community. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. See this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.